Okay, here is the vision of Evangelism Strategies International, or ESI for short. There's a fantastic graphic of a globe. That is our vision. It is to mobilize churches right around the world to get back to evangelizing the world. All right, here are all the regions of New Zealand. Jesus' command was to sow each region in New Zealand with the gospel for the glory of God. We read about that in Acts 1:8. That is to say, Jesus is looking to his church in each region to sow their region with the glorious light of the gospel. Wow. Not just to sow it once, but to repeatedly sow it. Let's take Northland, for example. In Northland, there will be leaders of churches who want to lead by example in evangelism, and in so doing make it possible to mobilize all their people for evangelism. We have found out that if leaders lead by example in evangelism, then all the rest of the people will willingly follow. Let's say 10% of pastors will be like this. We don't know what the percentage actually will be, but let's just say it's going to be 10%. There will also be churches whose leaders aren't ready to lead in evangelism, but there are people in their churches who want to obey Jesus in his command to evangelize the world. Well, let's say 90% of churches are in this group. How are we going to identify and train the people and their pastors in both groups? That is, in the 90% and 10% groups. Well, in 2015, we are inviting churches in Northland to host what we call the 12 Lost Truth Conferences. These conferences are usually held on a Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. ESI will work in-house and closely with the people and the pastors of the 10% to help them mobilize all their people for evangelism. For the people in the 90% of churches who want to activate in evangelism, we will meet them once a month in a central Northland location, perhaps Whangarei. We could even meet in several locations depending where all the people are coming from. Well, what would happen at these monthly meetings? First, we'd stoke the fires of evangelism in the hearts of the people who come. We'd encourage each other. We'd pray for each other. Isn't that a great photo? We'll inspire each other to be better at evangelism, to be more loving, to be more gracious, to be more accurate, to be more uncompromising, to be more skillful, and so on. There will be relevant, practical, quality, meaty Bible teaching on topics related to evangelism. Let me tell you, they will definitely not be boring like that photo. We'd build friendships and relationships because that's extremely important. We want people to feel that as we go about evangelizing the whole of Northland, that those doing the evangelism are not alone. They're with a great big team of people who are out and about as they go about their day doing this. The people who came would be given the option of using a variety of tools to communicate the gospel, not just those developed by ESI. So we'd be inviting people to find tools that suit them and to use those tools. We'd send the people who come back to their churches equipped, inspired, encouraged, and skilled, able to do evangelism themselves, and able to teach others how to do evangelism. That is all part of our mandate of being an Ephesians 4:11-14 evangelist, which was to equip the saints for the work of ministry. So we're doing exactly what God's told us to do. But we need to work with the churches to be able to do this. Who would do the coaching with all these people from all the churches around Northland coming together once a month? Well, we have an amazing couple called Renee and her husband Chris from Waipukurau in the Hawke's Bay. Initially, the coaching would be done by Renee Tobin, the assistant leader of Evangelism Strategies International. Renee has been working with a variety of churches in the Hawke's Bay already, so she is proven, endorsed, and accepted. And we'll have a list of the churches that she's been working with, so you can phone their pastors and just make sure that everything's okay, like that. Renee will also be looking to train and equip locals so that they can become coaches. We just don't want to coach people, we want to coach some people so they can become coaches, which is all part of discipling people. With ESI and the churches of Northland working together, we can obey Jesus' command to evangelize Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and the uttermost parts of the earth. The same plan that I've just described here and pattern applies to every region in New Zealand. Amen, let it be. If you want to contact us, there's all our contact details. Get hold of us and let's just dialogue and talk about how we can do this. Okay, God bless you.